Please, for the love of all St. Pete, hear me out on this. Valve, if you are somehow watching this, all I need is a yes or no response as I lay out, I think, a pretty valid argument for why CSGO majors deserve at least a little bit of an increase when it comes time for prize pools. I'm not calling for crowdfunding. I'm not calling for $5 million majors. I'm saying at the current $1 million mark, why not double it to $2 million plus? Anything above that I think is also fair play, but I'm going to give you guys the groundwork of why I truly do believe that Valve should be increasing the prize pools for their majors. And especially when it comes to the last 30 days, I think it's fairly obvious, we've already known this before as well, that Valve makes plenty of money off of their baby, well, their second and not so beloved son. That's going to be CSGO. Compared to Dota 2, they make plenty of money with both those games, but especially in the last 30 days with CSGO, let's lay the groundwork of exactly what they've actually released. I tweeted about this yesterday as well. I think it did fairly well. First of which, we had the CS20 case, right? The community skins, all of them very, very well designed, a very hyped up case with a brand new knife along with it, but they didn't stop there. Of course, a couple days ago, they dropped a brand new operation. With that, we have 3 collection cases. Norse collection, shout out Norse. We also have Canals and St. Mark collection. With all of those, dozens of skins. Alongside that as well, another case, that being the operation case for Shattered Web, and with it, 4 new knives. So in grand total, guys, that's 5 cases, that's 5 knives, alongside an operation, which, by the way, yes, you do have to pay for around $15 for all of those millions of players out there around the entire world. And along with all of those, yes, dozens and dozens of new skins, which we all know plenty of people out there, especially in your well-established now Chinese market, they're spending a lot of money on. And hey, don't forget to mention, guys, with that $15 battle pass, you can also, with those unlockables, the things you unlock with those battle pass tiers, you don't get the keys with those. You have to continue to buy those keys alongside that. Also, keep in mind, with this battle pass, just like every other battle pass in gaming right now, it's a huge cash grab for a lot of developers. Not necessarily a bad thing if they give it back somewhat to the community. And that's, yes, you can actually buy these stars to progress yourself through the tiers. You can pay additional money to progress yourself through the battle pass as fastly as possible. Alongside that as well, with this operation Shattered Web, you get some more graffitis, you get an additional sticker capsule, and we're still not done, because on top of that, what I really did not even expect with this at all, and kind of just now realizing, wrapping my head around it, there are now buyable, tradable, sellable character model skins. Who knows where Valve is going to take this? You can now buy and sell character model skins in the game of CSGO. That's all within the past 30 days alone. You've got to imagine they are going to make hundreds of millions off of all of these 5 cases, 5 knives, battle pass. You can buy battle pass tiers, a sticker capsule, graffiti, so on and so forth. They're making a lot of money. And my second point out there is other TOs are dumping more money into these CSGO events, right? To close this year alone, we already have ESL Pro League Finals, $750K. Epicenter's back with $500K. We look to next year, already 2 events that are gigantically announced. Katowice's back with another $500K. ESL Cologne, most importantly, now currently matching major prize pools at $1 million. So TOs out there are forking up more out of their wallet, which, by the way, is already a market where it's very tough to make money. Meanwhile, Valve is raking in dough on dough, and they sponsor and they back 2 events every single year, and you're telling me you make hundreds of millions and you can't give an additional million just to signify it's a major, right? Just to differentiate when it comes time for a major compared to a non-major event. ESO Cologne is now pushing, obviously one of the best events we'll probably see throughout the entire year, but they're not pushing the envelope even further, as they've actually upped their prize pool to $1 million, and Valve is sitting back saying, hey, we don't really need to. Now, my third argument out there compares it to other esports where their prize pools they're dumping into it. Don't get me wrong, Counter-Strike is a great thing. They flood the scene with a lot of money, but it's not Valve. It's TOs, it's events, it's other organizers out there that actually put their own money on the line. And when it comes to other esports out there, I'm not saying that Epic Games or Activision Blizzard or so on and so forth, that they dump a lot of money either, but other esports, when it comes time for the best esports in the world, CSGO is certainly, to many out there, regarded as one, but they are catching slowly when it comes to prize pools as well. We look at Dota, they have more prize pools, by the way, also backed by Valve. They do crowdfunding, I understand that, and they also do 1 international per year. I understand your arguments against it, against me right now, if you are trying to cheer for, okay, maybe we don't need bigger major prize pools. When it comes to Dota, yes, they have a great circuit, a great Dota 2 circuit, which, by the way, also has a hefty amount of prize pool on the line, and then they have an international once a year, which is now breaking $30 million over the past 2 years, and this past year alone, they could have had 30 separate internationals, and each and every one of them would have had a larger prize pool than a major. Okay? Does that put into perspective at all? And I'm not saying that we need crowdfunding. I don't want $10 million majors right off the bat. I don't want $5 million majors right off the bat, but I'm just calling for anything above $1 million to at least separate and actually give these players a bit more of an incentive. Although there's already one, I understand that as well. I just want it to signify, hey, this is a major event. Come and watch this. Come and compete your god dang hardest for it. And so with that, we also compare it to other events out there like that of Fortnite, right? Obviously, they had a huge World Cup event, but these are all-time prize pools. In just 2 years, Fortnite has now caught CSGO in all-time prize pools. That goes to show you throughout all of their skirmishes, all of their winter, summer, spring events, and along with their World Cup, they are doing something right, and that is Epic Games really stepping up. Epic Games, by the way, a lot of that, if not a far majority of that prize pool, they are shelling out of their own pockets. And yeah, they're making a lot more than Valve currently is, or at least presumably they are making billions as they did in 2018. And so yes, there are plenty of arguments against this. When you look at esports out there that are considered the top esports, a lot of them do a lot larger prize pools than CSGO, especially when it comes to their biggest events. Dota 2 International, I get it, it's once a year, it's 30 plus million. Fortnite World Cup, yes, once a year. Last year, all around the event, $60 million. This year will likely be more. When it comes to League of Legends, I will give you guys one argument. I still think the argument could be made that Riot needs to shell out more for their Worlds events. When it comes to League of Legends, their prize pools also approaching CSGO and are still really, really up there. On top of that, I will admit when it comes to spring and summer splits, MSI, and the such, they don't really do that many prize pools. When it comes to at least their World event, they do a major prize pool or a World event prize pool of over $2.2 million. They signify they really very much, in a lot of esports out there, they clearly differentiate between their biggest events and their monthly or weekly events. There is a clear differentiation between those two, and when it comes time for CSGO, it's not the case really anymore. And I understand there are so many debatable points about this, and I probably come from an angry place and a fanboy place where I think Valve just makes way too much money, and when it comes to a major and them only funding those two events every single year at $1 million a piece, and they're raking in hundreds of millions themselves, it's tough for me not to see why they could not up the prize pool, especially compared to other esports competitions. It's crazy when you look at the top 4 esports currently. You would look towards Dota, also a Valve baby. You look towards League of Legends, and you look towards Fortnite, and of course their World Cup and their biggest events out there. All 3 of those other esports, apart from CSGO, have much, much larger prize pool for their biggest events of the entire year. And here we have CSGO sitting at $1 million. By the way, Smite, I'm pretty sure Smite, a couple years back, had a much larger world event, a much larger yearly event than CSGO did. Smite, an average concurrent player base of 6,000, had, I believe, a multiple million dollar world event just a couple years back. Yes, it was a terrible idea, but CSGO comes at a much more stable cost here, guys. It baffles me they have not upped these major prize pools to really tell us, hey, these are majors. These are the biggest events of the entire year. As always, hope you guys all enjoy. Keep drinking your coffee. I'll be back here all day long breaking down other esports and gaming news. Okay? Take care. Please don't be mad at me. Valve, I would love a yes or no answer. I probably will not get one, but it would surely make my day.